Mark Nooch, our national chairman for the campaign.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman Myers. Hey, it's an honor and privilege to be here to share tonight. First with my family and friends, my wife Amy, our children Braden, Kaya, Aviana that are here tonight, and some of their K-State friends. Thank you for joining us, and especially my parents, Larry and Vivian Nooch from Alma, Kansas, and my aunt and uncle, Ron and Linda, and my cousins, Christy and her husband, Vern. Look across the crowd tonight, there's, I see some former congressmen that I knew from Washington County. Thank you so much for coming. The current congressmen, men and women that are here to share this. The other many distinguished guests that are here tonight. I also want to mention the young men I met earlier from the Fort Riley Mounted Color Guard, if they're still here. But thank you so much for coming out. I got to meet some of the folks from the Mounted Color Guard a year ago at a rodeo in Washington County, where I grew up, and they gave a wonderful demonstration of our historic cavalry men and women riding horseback in that rodeo arena while shooting some single action pistols, something that's near and dear to my heart as well as a modern day horse soldier. But I grew up here at the north end of the Flint Hills. The unique perspective I had, I don't know how to describe this. How many of you have seen that sunrise from the back of a horse at 6 a.m. with Larry Nooch and our family? Because it's not a trail ride. You're bringing your game, and you're ready to go to work. And who knew that upbringing and those lessons in grit and determination and resilience. The Army was not training any of its special operators right after 9/11 to ride horseback. And so it was by pure fate, in the hand of God, I think, that my team was picked to spearhead those operations. And I assure you that I had one of the best trained Special Forces teams that were out there. We were the old guys. We averaged 32 years old. 8 years time in service. 10 out of 12 of us were married, with 9 of the couples having 2 or more children. We specialized in unconventional warfare. And while most of America was staring at that smoldering pile in New York City and that hole in the wall in the Pentagon, or you heard about that plane that went down in that field in Pennsylvania, while you're wondering what's next, everyone from General Myers on down to our special operations folks and our CIA folks were trying to put forth a plan and figure out what could be done. And as fate would have it, they chose an unprecedented strategy to match CIA teams with teams of Army Green Berets like mine. And out the door we went. I was in a Babies R Us in Nashville on the 14th of September when I got a phone call that said, return to the unit immediately. Bring all your gear. I had just moved to another assignment. We kind of thought I was done on September 10th. I had deployed with my team 2 years throughout the Middle East, But that afternoon, my wife Amy, she heard the phone call. She knew what that meant. Like any Green Beret, I let out a whoop and a holler. I knew I was going to war with my brothers. And I saw Amy. She had heard that phone call. And she said, we got to go. And on that 45-minute ride back to Fort Campbell, I failed to mention earlier, she was 6.5 months pregnant, high risk, with our first daughter. She says, you got to go. What would you do? What would you do? Your team is trained, they're ready. You have regional experience, unlike anyone else, probably most anyone else in the entire Department of Defense. 3,000 American international citizens have just been murdered by these Islamic extremists, and your team is asked to go do something. And so on the afternoon of September 14th, my team was notified that we were going to go do something. And as fate would have it, we deployed to Uzbekistan, a country we were familiar with. My team had worked there 6 months throughout the year 2000, and that's when we first started to learn about Al-Qaeda. Our team was advising Uzbek Special Forces. You think about that. We were one of the first teams of American Green Berets to go into the former Soviet Union and work with Uzbek Special Forces who were already fighting these Islamic extremists. And that was in 2000. So that gave us a little insight into what we were up against with Al-Qaeda. But incredible mission, and it's by the pure fate that we survived it. Our command did not expect us to survive. We were akin to the first landing craft on Omaha or Utah Beach on D-Day. And you have to have a serious look in the mirror about your life choices and what the Lord has called you to do. Incredible mission. I can't say enough about my teammates and the incredible circumstances and the problems that we were encountered. But for those guys, despite all the training we had received, riding a horse in Afghanistan was a significant emotional event, I assure you. So if you want to get a glimpse of that some morning, here with grass season coming on, I encourage you to meet at the gas station in Alma, Kansas, about 6 a.m., and Larry Nooch and our family would be happy to take you for a little ride in the Flint Hills. I tell you, there's all the travels I've had over the world, coming back here to the Flint Hills and experiencing it on horseback as I had. That's been what's regrounded me, I guess. To get out there and see that landscape. So I've driven through it on motorcycle. We've been down through it, down 177, and that I was introduced to that when we were in high school and we were rodeoing with a guy named Carl Langfart. It's back here in his family. I see you shaking your head. But it's an honor to be invited back here. I was on the, I don't know if they shared this, sir. This might be in the classified compartmented file about me here, but I was on the 6-year program at Kansas State University. I do not have my doctorates or my master's, but back then I could tell you where the great spots in Aggieville were, I assure you. And had a guy like Coach Steve Frazier, that was then the rodeo coach at Kansas State University rodeo team, and enjoyed representing our school, as an individual athlete in college rodeo across Oklahoma, and throughout several seasons of doing that. And that was truly an honor. I think I can still fit into my gray rodeo vest from back then. But one thing I did learn that's universal from here in Afghanistan when you're a newcomer to riding horses, they do not give you the good horse. So you got to earn your way up. So I can empathize with you, sir, when they hooked you up with that good mount. But who knew what a rapport builder that was going to be? You know, and meeting people that you could find common ground in. They wanted a better way of life for their families and for them economically. They wanted simple things, health care that we debate endlessly here, things that they don't have. Those people in Afghanistan have nothing, and they are happy to share it with you and welcome you into their homes and into their families. And that's the people I know and I'm still in touch with. It's been an honor to invite them across the United States as they're able to participate in events in New York and around the America's Response Monument. And I'm proud to say that some of those interpreters that were so critical to my team nearly 18 years ago, just in the last few months, received their special immigrant visa and arrived to Dallas. We, in a screening of the 12 Strong film a year ago, we actually had some of the, for those that attended that event down here at the theater in Manhattan, we had some Afghan friends come all the way to Manhattan, Kansas, and I look forward to inviting more of them here to share the Flint Hills and learn more about this region of the U.S. So this Flint Hills Discovery Center, the effort y'all have put forth to build that and get that up and going and help sustain it is incredible, and I commend you on that. It's important to understand our past and what this Flint Hills region means to Kansas and to our country, and it is going to continue to be critical to our future going forward and how we preserve it and how it's utilized and the folks that can come to this region and share in its history and understanding of that landscape. But there's a lot more work to be done. They have raised almost $2 million, and so there's a lot of excitement, but there's more work to be done. And I'm very honored and proud to be designated as your honorary chairman with this campaign fundraiser. So thank you very much for coming out tonight. And Miss Marty Veneer, thank you very much for letting me share this with you here too as well tonight. Thank you and congratulations.